Welcome to Counters. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the risk-free rate. We're going to explain what it is and why we use the risk-free rate. What is the risk-free rate? Well, for us to understand the risk-free rate, let's look at what is risk in the first place. Risk is the possibility that an actual outcome may differ from the expected outcome. So the actual outcome or the outcome that occurs may differ from what you expected to happen. So that is risk. And if you are saying that that is what risk is, that means the risk-free rate is the certainty that an actual outcome will not differ from the expected outcome. In other words, it's the certainty that the actual outcome will be exactly what we expected or what will be expected. So that is what the risk-free rate in essence is saying. And now we know we don't live in a perfect world where we will have certainty that an actual outcome will not differ from the expected outcome. So also the risk-free rate, we need to take caution as we look at the risk-free rate. But if you are going to invest in a risk-free investment, why are you getting back a return? Well, the pure time value of money is measured by the risk-free rate, which is the reward for merely waiting for your money without taking any risks, as you know with certainty that you'll get your money back. Hence the word risk-free. So here you're being given a rate or you're being given a reward of the risk-free rate for just waiting for your money because you know for certain you will get your money back. So it takes time value of money into consideration here to say for waiting for your money for maybe 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, we will give you the risk-free rate, meaning that you will for certain get your money back as well as the rate that you are promised for whatever you have invested. The best indicator of the risk-free rate is the yield on government bonds, also known as the Treasury bills. So those are the only ones which are considered risk-free. Why are government bonds or Treasury bills considered risk-free? Well, because it's the government. The government, in theory, never really goes bankrupt. If the government raises money through taxes, if taxes are too low, or if the government is not getting enough money, they can simply raise their taxes. So they're not like a private company which can go through so many issues, can go bankrupt. They don't have a risk-free rate. They cannot offer a risk-free rate. So the best indicator of a risk-free rate, if you want to know what the risk-free rate, basically you look at the government bond or treasury bill. And like we said, with the risk-free rate, we have to understand that we do not live in a perfect world. So even governments have got the ability to default on their bonds. We look at governments in countries which are developing, and we see so many issues with wars and with corruption in government. Those can affect your return, and when you get your return, how you get your return, if you'll get your return. But basically, if you want to know what the risk-free rate is, you look at the government bond for the respective country you're dealing with or for the respective government you're dealing with, because they will be different from one country to another. Basically, this is the rate that is available for investments that are risk-free. So when you look at the risk-free rate here, this is the rate that is available if you're going to invest in a risk-free investment. And like we said, the government bond. So if you're considering investing in a government bond, you'd look at what the risk-free rate is. So why do we use the risk-free rate? Well, if you are considering investing in government bonds or treasury bills, you'd want to see what the risk-free rate is for the amount of years you want to invest. Risk-free rate is therefore used as a benchmark, as it is the least risky investment available anywhere. So if you're considering investing even in a company or in any project that you want to invest in, the first thing that you'd want to know is what the risk-free rate is, and you will use that as a benchmark to compare it to what the rates out there are. Because if government bonds are the only ones or treasury bills are the only ones which are offering a risk-free rate, then every other rate that I'm offered out there in a company, public or private, or in a project has to be higher than the risk-free rate. Why? Because I'm incurring risk. Because if I go to government, I will get a risk-free rate. I'm going there with the certainty that I will get my money back. But if I go to companies, to a specific company and say I want to invest in the shares of this company, I know that a company has got risk inherent. So I will have to see what the risk-free rate is and compare it to what they are offering me. And we'll see just now how we apply it. So this rate can be compared with rates of return from other investment opportunities which are not risk-free. So this rate, like I said, will be compared to other investment opportunities which you may be considering. So here's an example. We're told here that Palm Gold Limited offers a rate of return of 7%, and the rate on a government bond is 7%. Where will you invest your funds? So let's say you are considering an investment. You are considering investing and you want to invest this money somewhere. And you go to Palm Gold Limited and you're considering investing in this company to say, I want to invest in the shares of this company. And they tell you that they're offering you a rate of return of 7%. And then you go and you see what your government bond is, because that's the risk-free rate. And they tell you that it's also 7%. Where will you invest your funds? Well, this is a no-brainer, because Palm Gold Limited gives you a rate of 7%, but Palm Gold Limited has got risks. There are risks in investing in this company. Whereas if you go to a government, if you invest in government bonds, it's considered risk-free. You have certainty that you'll get your money back. So 7% in a private company or in a public company, and 7% on a government bond. Where will you invest? Well, you'll invest in a government bond, because here you're not incurring risks. Whereas if you go to a company, you will incur risk. So that 7% will not be enough for you. So you might as well go to a government bond and invest in the government bond. So if I'm going to invest in a company which has got risk, which is any company, they all have risks, then they have to give me a rate higher than the risk-free rate, because I'm incurring risk by investing in them. Now the question is, how high do you want it over and above the risk-free rate? So we have done a lesson on the capital asset pricing model where we use the risk-free rate to do the calculation. If you'd like to check it out, you can click on the link on the top right of the screen or in the description below to see how we get the cost of equity for a specific company using the risk-free rate. Let's look at the second example before we end. Palm Gold Limited offers a rate of 10% and the rate on a government bond is 7%. Where will you invest your funds? Well, we'd quickly jump and say the 10% in Palm Gold Limited because their rate is higher. But hold on right there. That 10% that they are offering is higher than the government bond. Yes, that's true. The government bond is 7% and Palm Gold Limited offers a rate of 10%. So the question that you need to ask yourself there is, they are paying you 3% more. Are you willing to incur the risk by investing in this company for a rate of 3%? For a rate of 3%, are you willing to incur risk for a rate of 3%? Because essentially what they are doing here, they are paying you 3% for incurring the risk in the company by investing in the company. So that you will have to determine as the investor. An investor will have to determine, is 3% enough for me to incur the risk, or would I just go with it 7%? And that is how we said that the risk-free rate is a benchmark. You use it as a benchmark, as your base when you're looking at an investment. I hope this lesson has made sense. We just went through it basically. And if you have any questions or queries or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, if you have gained any value from this lesson, please consider subscribing to our channel, like this video, and share it to those you think it might help. Till next time, cheers.